United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shall we pray? O Lord our God, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. We come to you at this hour giving you honor, praise, and glory, asking for forgiveness. We thank you for our forgiveness. We thank you for protection and provision. We thank you for all that you have done for us. And now, Lord, as we come to this hour, we ask in the name of Jesus that all would be done with decency and in order, and things will be done that is for the credence of our town, for the betterment of our town. We give you glory, honor, and praise. Crown our heads with wisdom and knowledge and understanding how we can lead. In Jesus' name we pray. And, oh Lord, we give you glory. We give you the honor and praise for all things. Amen.
Amen. Okay, we'll have roll call by our clerk, Ms. Parish.
Town of Vidalia Board of Aldermen roll call for the regular meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen dated April 12, 2022. Alderman Betts.
Present.
Alderwoman Denby.
Present.
Alderman Gardner. Mayor, let the record reflect that Alderman Gardner is absent at this time. Alderman Probst.
Here.
Alderman Smith.
Here.
Mayor, let the record show that a quorum of the board is present and accounted for.
Thank you very much. First thing we have is approval of our minutes. You have them before you. Is there any additions or subtractions from the minutes? If not, I hear a motion to accept the minutes.
I so move.
I think I'll...
Go ahead.
Okay, motion made by Alderman Betts, second by Alderman Probst. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next thing we have is public comments on our current agenda items. If you're out there and you had picked up an agenda, has anyone from the public got any comments on the agenda items as they're listed? If not, we will continue on. I would like to ask the board, for the first time, I'm asking for a couple of items to be added to the agenda. The Larson Act requires that a unanimous vote, a positive vote of the board to add an agenda item. I have two items. The first one is going to be Miss Sheila McFarland is here. She has a request, the Red River Delta Law Enforcement, there's a grant that's going to be available for them, and if she wants to ask you about it, but first we need to add it to the agenda to discuss it. So I want to ask, can I have a motion to add this agenda item to our agenda? Motion made by Alderman Probst, second by Alderman Smith. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, now, Sheila, come on. You can, thank you.
I need that.
Now you can come up.
I obtained paperwork on a small grant from Red River Delta, $997, which it was allocated to our area. And this funds would be for any type of equipment or whatever is needed at the police department. And there is a memorandum of understanding that has to be signed by the mayor for the town. Basically, it just says that they're in agreement that Red River Delta is going to be the main agency over this funding, and that they would allocate the money to this department.
Okay, so what she's basically asking for is granting me permission to sign the memorandum of understanding and the cooperative endeavor agreement between the Red River Delta Law Enforcement Planning Council, Inc. and the town of Bidet. Is any questions or discussion? If not, we have a motion to approve that.
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Alderwoman Denby.
I'll second it.
Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
The next one I have is going to be, I've got it right here. Is Miss Carol Williams here? Come on, Miss Williams, let us get it on the agenda, then we'll, Miss Williams has brought a request to us. She brought it last week, but we hadn't visited yet about what it is. And basically, it's between the City of Bidet and the Concordia Learning Center. And this is also a memorandum of understanding of what we would do. And I wanted to add this to the agenda because she needed to have this done by Friday and turned in with my signature on it as well. And so it's dealing with the Bidet Lower Elementary, the Concordia Parish School District, Concordia Parish. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to be us giving some assistance to them if they have children going on field trips and things of that nature for escorts and things of that nature. And so I'm asking to add this to the agenda. I'd like to, if I could hear a motion to add this agenda item.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Alderman Betts. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Denby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Williams, come on.
Good afternoon again, and thanks for the opportunity, Mayor Kraft and Alderman and Alderwoman. I'm here. The Concordia Learning Center has applied for the 21st Century Grant, and in that grant, we will be assisting several schools in the district. And two of those schools is right here in Vidalia. We will be assisting Vidalia High School and Vidalia Low Elementary. We will be providing services to them and some of the deficits. And in doing so, and asking for partnership with the town of Vidalia, is in case, just say, at the elementary school, if we are going to the library, if we're taking a field trip walking to the library, we may need some escort to make sure we cross the street, everyone gets across the street safely. If we're going on a field trip, then we may need an escort out of something of that nature.
Okay. All right. All right, Ms. Williams, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I hope we can get this taken care of right now for you. And then you can, if you need anything else after this, just give me a shout, okay? Okay. Okay, is there any questions from the council for Ms. Williams? Okay, and basically the same thing. This is going to be the recommendation for me to sign a memorandum of understanding with Louisiana 21st Century Community Learning Center Programs, Concordia Learning Center, and basically offer these services that she was asking for. If there's not any questions, can I entertain a motion to approve that?
I make that motion.
Motion made by Alderwoman Demme. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Smith. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, thank y'all very much. Okay, now we're going to move on with our agenda as stated. Thank y'all for doing that. First thing we have is Ms. Deborah Moak, our CPA, is our presentation of financial statement for February 2022.
Tonight's financial statements include the balance sheet as of February 28, 2022, the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balances for the 8 months ending February 28, 22, a summary budget to actual comparison by fund, and a detailed budget to actual comparison by department. These financial statements have been distributed to all the department heads and aldermen for their review. In summary, the town has combined cash in the bank of $11.4 million, including $8.6 million in the hydro fund and $1.2 million in sales tax fund. We have investments of $4.6 million. The hydro reserve fund has $2.4 million, and the general fund has $1.5 million, and we have the $705,000 of ARPA funds. Total assets are $46.5 million. Total liabilities are $11.2 million. The fund balance is at $35.3 million. The statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund balance for the 8 months ending February 28, 22 indicates combined revenues of $26.7 million, total expenditures of $23.5 million, for a change in net position of $3.1 million. Revenues are under budget at 57% of budget. Sales tax collections remain higher than the same period last year and are approximately $126,000 over budget. We do anticipate sales tax collections to increase even more due to the new construction going on in town. The hydro royalties are lower than expected but are catching up with the increase in production due to the rising Mississippi River levels and with the largest increase in royalty rates beginning in January. The 20% royalty rate began in January, which created a royalty of $2.7 million for the month of February. Utility revenues are much higher than budget due to the increase in cost. Only 7% of the intergovernmental revenue has been received, primarily due to the amount budgeted from the state capital outlay for the next phase of the port, which has not happened yet. Total expenses are at 64% of budget, which is slightly lower than budget. Personnel costs are slightly above budget levels due to payouts to long-term employees who have retired. Materials and supplies and other services are higher than budget due to higher utility cost and timing. The cost of gas has exceeded the budget amount for the year with 4 months to go. We are seeing increases in utility revenues due to the higher energy costs we are experiencing. This is a nationwide problem. Electricity and gas are projected to be higher during the winter months, but the high utility revenue will help offset the town's higher energy cost as well. We have borrowed $4.4 million on the transmission line and substation to date to cover materials, engineering costs, legal fees incurred, and securing portions of the right-of-ways from the landowners. The project began in June of 2020. We have received the appraisal on the last remaining parcel of land for the right-of-way and are prepared to take necessary steps to move forward on the acquisition. We are still working with FEMA to recover emergency work and debris removal costs caused by the 2021 winter storm. The town has received approximately $705,000 of the $1.4 million allocated to the town from the American Rescue Plan. The money is on the balance sheet as a special revenue fund. None of this money has been spent and is being held as a liability until the funds are expensed. The remaining $705,000 will be sent later this year. The money is not included in the current budget, and any expenses paid using these funds will need board approval. These financials include capital outlay of $394,000 of a $5.5 million budget for capital outlay. Sidewalks and roadway improvements have been made at various locations around town, and various equipment has been purchased. However, $3.2 million in capital outlay is for the port, of which zero has been spent. The revenue to purchase the land has not been appropriated by the state. Therefore, the land has not made steps to acquire the land needed to complete the project. Also, the fleet of vehicles from Enterprise has not been received. Therefore, our costs for these vehicles have not been expensed. We began working on the budget for fiscal year 2022-23. It will be necessary to amend the budget due to unforeseen changes during the year. The only funds which require amending are the general fund and special revenue funds.
Okay, thank you, Deborah. Any questions from the council on that? I don't know if you could hear very good, but you know, she said our royalty has started the 20%, and our first quarter check that we're going to be getting is going to be over $9 million. So we're starting to see the heyday of the hydro relationship. It's exciting for Bidet to be in this position, you know, where we can, you know, return a lot of that back to our citizens in their electricity bill and rebate up to 50% of their electricity costs. And and plus a lot of other things we can do in the town that we do need. So, but Deborah, thank you so much for that report. Y'all do a wonderful job on that. So, thank you. Okay, next thing we have several occupational licenses, which is good in a town. It means you're attracting business and people are doing things. So this is good. First one we have on here is Joe Reynolds. It's for says 2 Mechanic Shop. Joe 2 Mechanic Shop. Is Joe here? Yes. Okay, he's not here. It's going to be located on 1204 Carter Street, and it's going to be performing minor mechanic work such as oil changes, brake work, tune-ups, belt and hose replacement. Are there any questions on this? There a motion we accept the application.
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Alderman Betts.
Second.
Second by Alderman Probst. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, next we have, and I see Miss Bethany out here. Good to see you, Bethany. She is going to be opening Gojo at 2000 Carter Street, and this is going to be a drive-through coffee shop. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. It's actually 2008 Carter Street.
2008? I'm sorry.
Yes, it's in the parking lot of La Maria
Okay.
and the former Fred's.
Okay.
I do have menus here for anybody who wants one.
Okay.
And we hope to open. We're just waiting on inspections and approval from you guys, and we'll be ready to open.
Okay. Any questions for Miss Bethany? Okay, do I have a motion we accept?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Alderman Probst, second by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye. Aye. All right, thank y'all. Good luck. Okay, next we have the Smokestacks by Miss Jacqueline Jackson. Is she here? Hey, Miss Jackson, and she is going to be having vapor, cigarettes, and tobacco. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And you're going to be located at 4010 Carter Street, right?
yes, sir. Right in the same building with Gold Ball.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. You want that? So when you plan on trying to be open?
As soon as you do.
As soon as you can. Okay. Okay. Has council got any questions of Ms. Jackson? Do I hear a motion we accept Ms. Jackson's application?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Alderman Betts. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Denby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have Mr. James Helms. I see James is out here. He's going to have LPR Auto Repair, and he's going to be at 1910 Carter Street and doing auto repair and performance engine bills. You want to tell us a little bit? I mean, is that?
It's basically, just general auto repair, and, personally, I do engine bills.
Okay.
Performance engine bills.
Oh, okay. Well, good, good. Any questions?
Convenient, check for the AC and coolant.
Yeah, there you go. Any questions, Mr. Helms? Okay, to hear a motion to accept Mr. Helms?
Make a motion.
Motion made by Alderman Probst. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Smith. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, James. Good luck, okay? All right. Next thing we have is Miss Brenda Floyd opening the Brandon Iron, which would be a steakhouse and restaurant at 1102 Carter Street, and I don't see Brenda here. Okay, is there any questions? Do I hear a motion we accept Miss Floyd's?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Alderwoman Denby. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, the next one we have is Miss Jessica Roberts, and this is going to be Pretty in Ink LLC, which is permanent makeup. Something I could probably use. But is Miss Roberts here? Okay. I know from myself, I hear a lot of the ladies, they get their eyeliner tattooed on and things of that nature, which is really a big lips, done all kind of something. So is there any questions on that? Does anybody have any questions? And I think that's also in the building that's in Gold Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, to hear a motion to accept this? Motion made by Alderman Smith. To hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Probst. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right. All right, the next one we have is Miss Lou Family Care, which is Miss Judy Nichols. Is she here? Miss Judy here?
No.
Okay. This is a tractor and implement sales. This is actually it's just a move, a change of location. Oh, well, I missed.
No.
I missed one?
That's her. You own it.
Oh, okay. Miss Jody Nichols. Is Jody here? I'm sorry. I don't.
Family care.
Oh, it's that Ms. Outline on my thing. I'm sorry. Miss Jody Nichols, Miss Lou Family Care. It's going to be medical office. Okay. Who took this application? Is this a medical doctor, or just a medical supplies office? Does anybody know? Medical office? John, would you know that?
I wasn't in the office when they took this one,
Oh. Okay.
but she said medical office, so I suppose it's going to be
It could be nurse practitioner, could be anything, but
Right.
anyway. Would I hear a motion to accept?
Make the motion.
Motion made by Alderman Probst. Here a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we'll get to DC Ag, Mr. Dennis, that should be Dennis Mulvihill, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
same thing.
And that's, they're going to be moving their location from the corner there on Nichols Drive to what used to be the old Benny Gorham property, and that's just a change of address. So that's all we're approving there is that. Do I hear a motion we accept? Motion made by Alderman Smith. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now we have down to sign applications. The first one is Finance American doing business as Cash to You. It's 1642 Carter Street, Suite 3. There's not a rendering in my,
You didn't have it.
oh, okay, there it is, okay. All right, is there any questions? Okay, hear a motion to accept this sign out?
Make the motion.
Motion made by Alderman Post, here a second. Second made by Alderman Smith, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and the second one is the branding iron, and it is in your packet, that application as well, and design on it. Is there any question on it? That one's actually up. Okay, hear a motion to accept.
Make the motion.
Motion made by Alderwoman Denby, here a second.
Mayor.
Uh-huh.
You also have a liquor and beer permit attached.
Oh, okay. Let's address that separate. I think we need to address that separate. It's two different issues.
Yeah.
We can't, yeah, I'll address it second. So we're talking about the sign out. Do I hear a motion that we accept that? And that was made by Alderwoman Denby and second by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we can address the liquor and beer permit that is attached that you'll see there. Is there any questions on it? And I hear a motion we accept. Motion made by Alderman Smith. I hear a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Thanks to all the businesses that are putting investment in our town. Really appreciate that. Next thing we have is something that is, as Bidet residents, we can certainly be proud of. Is we're going to have Miss Jeannie Archer, which is the Concordia Parish Tax Assessor, going to talk to us about the millage that's coming up.
So, as y'all know, every year y'all have to adopt a millage rate. And just to let y'all know what the current millage rate is, it's 3.37. And I know it was at one time the lowest millage in the state, and it's probably still is. If it's not the lowest, it's one of the lowest. And if you keep that, you have the option each year to keep that millage, or you have the option to roll forward. So if you roll forward, your maximum millage rate is 3.39. But if you take the current figures that we have and you decide that you want to adopt the 3.37, if everything would be collected, then y'all would end up collecting around $129,000. If you roll forward, you're doing that without voter approval, y'all will adjust your millage to the 3.37, and that would only increase your revenue by about $765 for the year. So, that's something that y'all would need to consider if you wanted to do that or not. And just to give you a little bit of info about the town, so y'all got around 2,350 taxpayers inside the city limits. And that does include, that's everybody, that's businesses, that's personal property taxes, and that's residents, so that's everybody. And also, I talked about this last year. I wanted to just reiterate again this year about y'all's low millage rate and 3.37. So if you actually broke it down to what a person that had a $200,000 home would have, they only pay about $67.40 for the town taxes, and that's really low. So that's basically what I just wanted to talk to you about. If you wanted to adopt that 3.37 or roll forward to the 3.39. So anybody have any questions?
Any questions from council?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, that's going to take us to now the next step on our agenda where we actually will adopt what we're going to set our millage at. I personally would like to see us keep, because we're only talking about $700. But just to elaborate just very quickly on what she said, I looked at Pineville's millage rates, and that house in Pineville, you said here it was how much?
$67.40.
In Pineville, that would be somewhere around, I think, anywhere from $1,400 to $1,800. So that just give you a little bit about what Bidet has also to offer for our citizens that own property inside the city limits. So we're on that. Board discussion and vote to set the millage being levied on the 2022 tax roll on all property subject to taxation by the town of Vidalia, Louisiana. Is there any discussion, or somebody want to make a motion to?
I make a motion that it remains at 3.37.
Okay, motion's made for the 337. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Probst. If no further discussion, I'll take a vote. Let's do that by roll call.
Motion made by Alderman Betts to set the millage at the 3.37. It was second by Alderman Probst. Alderman Betts?
Yes.
Alderwoman Denby?
Yes.
Alderman Gardner? Alderman Probst?
Yes.
Alderman Smith?
Yes.
All right, Mayor, that motion carries 5 yeas and 1 being absent.
Okay, thank you all very much. I'm sure the citizens appreciate that. Okay, let's move on to, now we have number 6, a request to redirect a portion of funds budgeted for Vidalia Port Development. We have Brian Killen, who is going to be the Deputy Director of Vidalia Port. Okay,
Thank you all for having
Brian?
me. I'm here to, obviously, as the Mayor said, request a repurpose of a portion of the $800,000 that was budgeted for a port. It was budgeted for real estate acquisition, and we're looking to seek approval from the board to repurpose a little under $23,000, right under $24,000 for a grant application with the Federal Maritime Administration that we plan on seeking about $4.5 million for this grant, which would put the town, it would wipe the town clean of their obligation of that $800,000 that was budgeted for the real estate acquisition, as well as some mitigation, and $3.2 million, which would be the port priority match for that slip. So these grants are typically awarded at the end of the year. So keep in mind, if y'all do approve to repurpose around $24,000 this money, when we do have, when y'all do ask for the budget here in a couple months, that we will still put this $800,000 in the budget just in case we are not awarded. But we are we think we're going to get, we have a lot of support in that, and with the Maritime Division Administration. So we were urged to put a very large grant in, and we're going to follow up with that.
Okay.
Do y'all have any questions for me, or?
Basically tell them the other parishes that this is going to influence.
Okay, the total grant application is around $69,000, and Vidalia Port is wanting to go in with the Tensas Port Commission as well as the Lake Providence Port Commission and split this 3 ways.
Now, with the funds that's going to come with that grant, will that also be divided amongst the different ports?
Yes, yes, sir.
And so what is the total amount of the grant ask that y'all have?
We have not totaled it out yet. We are compiling, or we have a global engineering firm that's compiling all this information for us now. Our deadline is the middle of May, so we have about 30-45 days to get this done. There isn't a really large window from the time they come out with the notice opportunity of funding until the deadline of the application. So we're trying to get all our ducks in a row, and with all the infrastructure money, federal infrastructure money that's out there, we're going to swing hard, and this will take care of our local match obligations for future projects at the port.
So what's the Bidet portion of that?
Okay, it'll be, of the grant application, $23,994.
So you're basically redirecting $23,000 so we can be in that grant that could possibly save us
$4.5 million, $4.5 to $6 million. I mean, $4.5 million was the estimated numbers, and given inflation, I mean, $4.5 to $6 million.
Okay. All right. Any questions from council? All right. Can I hear a motion to accept the request to redirect the motion made by Alderman Smith? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Probst. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate
Thank you all
it.
very much.
Okay. Okay. The next thing we have on our Mr. John Rowland had called and requested to be put on the agenda to talk about the litter and other related issues throughout town as far as dealing with beautification. And I thought it was a good timing because here just recently, the state of Louisiana, through Billy Nungesser's office and as well as the governor, has signed up to keep Louisiana beautiful. Has just released that and started it. This is going to start this month. Matter of fact, the big push is called Love the Boot Week, and it's going to combat litter statewide, and it's going to be April the 18th to the 24th, and they're saying this is going to be the largest litter removal effort in the state that's ever been in the state. They're asking for local participation, that we come up with some type of plan locally. Now, this is not going to be something that's going to happen just that week. This could be an ongoing project to clean up our town. I feel like we have a very clean, as a matter of fact, everybody's been coming through town at visits for whether it's municipal things related or to our convention center, brag on our town. But we who lived in our neighborhoods, we see things that happen. We know that we can play our part to clean up our own, where we put our footprints, we can clean up those areas and encourage others to do as well. So there's a lot we can do. I know one time I was walking in Walmart here just about 3 years ago, so one I didn't get shot, but there was somebody who was, a lady was sitting in a vehicle with several children and was in a handicap spot. That was number one thing I really kind of caught my eye. And as I walked by, they threw out several buckets of Popeye's chicken cartons right there in front of my face. And I kept on walking, and I said, I can't let that go. And I turned around, went back, and I picked them up. And I said, we don't do, where are you from? She said, well, we're from Faraday. I said, we don't do this here. Please don't do it. I'm gonna throw away your trash, but please, if you come back, please throw yours. So if you see people, just be nice, but, let's let them know, hey, look, and people with cigarette butts. The cigarette butts, when you throw 40 or 50 out, when you stop, before you turn in this at Canal Street in Natchez, where people are going to turn, it looks like that's their last spot to throw their cigarette out. This butt's just, just everywhere. It's just things like that we just really need to concentrate on and try to just do those little things that will clean our town up. But anyway, John, I don't want to still talk too much more, but you would like to come and just talk about some things?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, ladies and gentlemen. I want to be brief. You pretty well covered what I was going to talk about. The Beautification Committee works hard to help on the appearance of our town. We're very serious about that. But one thing, you're out there cleaning up or you're trying to put lights up for the city for Christmas decorations and all, and you see people throwing water bottles right in front of you. You see a kid going down the street, he's got a candy bar wrapper, throws it in the ground. Say, hey, pick that up. He said, that's not my job. Keeps writing. You come down Concordia Extension, coming back around tonight, look at the trash that people throw out. It's an attitude. We got to work on the attitude. All of us will pick it up. I walk my dog twice a day. I'll bring a trash bag with me, fill it up. I sent you a picture of it. We need to kind of shame people. I heard a kid the other day say there's no shame in my game. Well, let's put some shame in people's game. Let's get, you say be nice, I'll be nice, but I'm still going to tell you what I think about you throwing your trash in my yard and my neighbor's yard. And when we go and back up behind us there on the alley behind North Oak, I mow all that. And I got to pick up more beer cans and everything else you can think of. Some things I won't talk about. So I would like to see the city council address that, look at what we can do, what kind of attitude. I say write them a ticket if you find somebody throwing trash out. Let's put some shame in the game. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it. That is a good point, is to crack down on enforcement if they're seeing people littering. Actually, I know Ronnie patrols our riverfront. I hope Ronnie, when he sees those people where they love to eat crawfish on those, and a lot of times they might just throw the heads right there. They've got a trash can there for them that we pick up every day, but if he does a pretty good job on staying on them to keep that clean and picked up. Now, a lot of the trash that might come on the riverfront blows off the bridge, or it's thrown off the bridge and blows on there, so that's one of the issues we have. I do want to say something else that, I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook where people address the dumpsters behind some of the businesses, like over, I think, the Dollar General or Family Dollar. And, it is bad. But what we're finding out, it's not the store puts the trash in the bins, but at night there's dumpster divers looking for anything they can find that's getting the stuff out of the dumpsters. And that's something that we just need to watch for, those people that are, and you've seen the picture where them hanging over and throwing stuff out of it, just looking for what they can, whether it's something that's being thrown away that might still be good. But a lot of that goes on. But I think that we can do better. You're right, John, that we can do better by maybe coming up with something, encouraging them to clean these parking lots every evening after they get through, because people do throw stuff out. And I can tell you, you're not going to stop the litter issue, but you can address it and try to curtail it, because there's people coming through town all the time that we're not going to be able to do unless we catch them. But I thank you for your words. I think it reminded us what we need to do, and I would like to get with the beautification committee and maybe come up with a little program and have a municipal-wide work day. Yeah, if y'all have seen around town, we've got a machine now that's cleaning up a lot of our alleys and stuff. We got Eric Warren has pretty well been assigned to running that machine. He's doing a wonderful job of cleaning up our town, and all our workers are doing keeping trash picked up. But it is a problem. It certainly is a problem. But anyway, thank you very much. Okay, let's move on with our agenda. The next thing we have is supposed to have been a presentation regarding setting up a mobile unit for cancer screening. Myra Akers at Mary Bird Perkins Cancer City. She couldn't make it. She had something else come up, but I don't think there was any action on that. But I don't think they needed any permission, I think, to set up a mobile unit for cancer screening. Let me say this right now. I encourage everybody to get, especially when you get over a certain age, listen to your doctor to get tested, especially have your colonoscopy done. I've been doing them. I lost my dear friend Cliff Merritt several years ago to colon cancer. Cliff and I were friends. We fished together. We're really close. And when he told me that, we were going fishing somewhere to Rayburn or Toledo Bend. He punched me on the arm. Go get your colonoscopy. He said it might save your life. And he was exactly right. I went and had a colonoscopy about probably a year or two after he was diagnosed. And the doctor told me, he said, you better be glad you did this, because within 2 or 3 years, you'd have full-blown colon cancer. And since that time, I go regular for screenings, and I just went here a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to have a surgery to have a part of my colon removed. But it's not cancerous, it's precancerous. But I appreciate prayers, but I don't like the idea of having surgery. But that's something that they said, if you hadn't to take care of this, that you would have had full-blown colon cancer. So I encourage people, please do your cancer screenings. It might save your life. And I just want to carry on, and just in Cliff's memory, if I save one person's life out there that's listening to this, go get it. It's not that bad a thing to do. And also on these screening things, go be checked out, please. It could mean your life. So thank you very much for that. So let's move on. All right. The next thing we have is board discussion and vote to approve the renewal of contract for municipal membership with AirMed Care Network, AirEvac, providing emergency airlift services for the town of Vidalia residents. I'm going to let Jay speak a little bit to that. He's really been instrumental in talking with that, and we've been doing this I know this will be the 6th year.
So, there's been some confusion, I think, over the years on exactly what the membership does for the town, but this membership that the town pays for a resident of the area, if they're in Concordia Parish Adams County or Cowhill Parish, whether they're insured or not insured, have access to this emergency helicopter service. So what the company does is they do bill if someone has insurance, their insurance company is going to get billed at a lower rate, but the resident won't be paid anything. If they happen to be an uninsured resident, then they are billed at the current Medicare allowable rate, as opposed to if the town wasn't in this membership, they'd be billed at just the going rate, which that difference is about $40,000. So for an uninsured resident or an insured resident, there's significant advantages for the town that providing this to everybody that lives here. And they do have access. I think there'll be mail out and some, get it. You can upgrade your membership nationwide if you want to. That's on your own, nickel there. But if you're a resident of Vidalia living and something happens, Concordia, Chattanooga, or Adams County, and this service is covered. So it's a great benefit that the town provides for the residents.
Any questions from council? Do I hear a motion we continue this renewal and renew this contract?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Alderman Gardner.
Let the record reflect that I am late, but I'm here.
Okay. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Probst. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next thing we have is the introduction of an ordinance to declare the malapportionment status of the current the districting plan of the election districts of the town of Bidet, utilizing the population data from the 2020 federal decennial census. This is just the introduction of the ordinance, and so is there any questions on that? Again, this is introduction. Next month we will deliberate and talk about the redistricting plan and what the results were. Okay, let's move on. Next thing we have is board discussion and vote on approval of resolution authorizing the town of Vidalia to terminate its 457 retirement plan in accordance with the amendment to terminate. So Deborah or Jay, do y'all want to go ahead and address that?
This basically that 457 plan is like the town's 401k. So I don't know if it was introduced or years ago. Over the years, the number of participants just dwindled. And I think where we're at now, we were down to maybe 6, 7 active employees in this plan. And if we were paying a quarterly fee to the insurance company administrator, plus Deborah had record-keeping things to keep up with, so it really just became, too much for what was participating. Plus, we had a lot of requests from some of those members that they weren't really getting much correspondence, So our insurance carrier was handling this for us, and they had even some employees had started requesting, well, can we just get out? So that was going to even deplete it more. So that's the reason that we're looking at this is just lack of participation as opposed to what we have to do with record keeping. But at the same time, we're looking at another plan that this is not the state retirement plan that the employees are in. This has nothing to do with that. This is a voluntary deduction that employees could do. But there is another plan that MERS, our retirement system, does have a deferred compensation plan that we're going to look at and look at the plan. It might work better, it might get a little bit more participation. So in a way to save cost, record keeping time, personnel cost, we just thought it might be a good thing to look at this.
Okay.
And it's not like the employees were most of the 6 or 7 that were have already withdrawn their money and moved it into other funds already anyway. So.
Okay. Any questions from council?
So most of those employees already are aware that we're trying to...
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Alderman Smith, or a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye. Okay, next thing we have is presentation and board discussion on annual backflow inspections and associated costs.
That was both for the
To terminate the 457.
confirmation of action letter and the termination amendment. There's two documents here.
Pardon?
There are two documents here. So we include authorizing you to sign.
So we need to do the confirmation of action.
I'm just asking if that covered both.
And then the amendment. How can we do it?
So does it have to be, do it have to be worded?
Pardon?
Jay showed me where it's covered.
It's covered? Okay. All right, so the motion was by Alderman Smith, second was by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next thing we have is the board discussion and vote on approval of a new hire for Bidet Police Department, Ms. LaToya. Did I miss one? Okay, I'm sorry. Presentation and board discussion on annual backflow inspections and associated costs with Cornell Lewis, Water Department Supervisor. Cornell?
Good evening. Basically, what I'm here for is the annual backflow prevention, program that we are, required to do by the state, LDH. And of course, we do have, several backflows in town, and this is, by ordinance back in 2015, that was required, by LDH. So we, I am currently, certified, backflow preventer tester. And we have some that we, currently test, for the town, to save money and stuff. And there's businesses that, require backflow preventers. And what I'm trying to see if, do we want to go into this and charge, customers, or are we gonna, do this free? So, because right now we got to take care of the paperwork, whether we do it or a third party do it, and then it'll take out the hassle or whatever to, contact the customers, on getting this paperwork. Because if we don't get this paperwork, when they come down to do our sanitary survey through LDH, we get wrote up for it. So this will make it easier for me and on the town if we do something like this, whether we charge or we do it as a courtesy to the town, the customer. The fees associated with this, all right, the training is $850. All right, that's not including hotel stay. That's a week-long course. All right, when we recertify every 4 years, that's $350. All right, and in a yearly backflow prevention test, we got to get the equipment test every year. It got to be certified, every year, and that's one of the things that the LDH look for. We try to make sure that we get everything, keep everything up to par with it, because they will write you up. And that test, testing on that equipment, it costs, $380. That's a year. So, with that being said, some of the invoices that I've seen, through customers, this is just on the domestic side of their backflow, not the fire system, because they got to get their own people to do that. But just on some of the domestic, I've seen invoices range, $150, $300, just for our local small businesses. And there are some that, come out far as Ruston, Louisiana, just to come down and test the backflow, and the travel charge is higher than the actual test itself, you know, and it's absurd. And, you know, and the thing is, and the way I look at it, those monies are actually leaving out. You know, if we could do it here, we could keep our local customers' money right here in town and utilize our, you know, backflow prevention program and keep the cost down for them.
Cornell, is this an annual thing that they have to do?
Yeah, it's an annual.
And it's, how many do you say we have in town that have to do this?
Currently, right now, it's like 100.
Okay, so they each one pay anywhere from $150 to $300 to annually have their backflow preventer tested.
Right, and it's seen more, yeah.
And what would you think that the town could do it for, and, you know, just to help? I mean, because we would, what do you think we could do as far as a fee just to do that and save them money and us, you know, not lose money?
I mean, really, I think $100. You know, we could do it for that. But I mean, that just to keep the, you know, the cost down for us, or just actually to cover the yearly cost or whatever to, you know, for, you know, the equipment, you know, and the time of doing it or whatever. But I mean, it's not really that. I mean, the cost is, I mean, it's just really up to the board whether you want to, you know, charge or whatever. But I mean, it just basically cover the, you know.
Well, let me ask.
What kind of
I'll
time
ask.
frame you talking about, Cornell? What kind of time frame we talking about per test? Say 100 people. How long? Are all in the same, or are they?
Well, it depends on situations or whatever, because some of those backflows or whatever, they'll be out there, you know, accessible, you know, by the street or whatever. There's some of them that's actually in the building. You know, I mean, you know, for us, the actual test or whatever, you know, it can range anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the situation, because there's some customers that may have problems with their backflow, you know, and of course they'll have to get that replaced or whatever. And once that test fails, and then we have to go back out and retest it.
Which would be another fee, but you're just testing it, they have to get it repaired.
Right.
Okay. What was council, would y'all want to, it's going to take us a little time to do this anyway. I mean, come up with a price and then, you know, put it, you know, get it approved and put it into either our fee structure or schedule, or even if we need to put it into you know, our utility ordinance, you know, we'll need to look at that. But what is the council's initial thought? Do y'all want to pursue looking at our water department getting the training and doing the tests themselves, or? Sounds like it would save our citizens if we did.
Yeah. I say it's
because right now I'm already certified to do that.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I mean, it's already done. I mean, basically, we just waiting on y'all.
Okay. All right. What y'all want to do?
So are you saying that there will be others other than you certified, or is there a need?
I mean, yeah, I would like to get one more certified or whatever, but, you know, just in case, you know, I'm busy, there'll be somebody else available to actually, you know, be certified to do that.
You said there was a fee of, how many, you gave 3 fees that you have. You got to be trained every 4 years, or?
Training, how you feel?
Well, the initial training is.
That's just one time?
Right, and you got to get recertified every 4 years.
Okay.
Every 4 years.
And yearly tests up to $350.
Right.
Okay. All right. Y'all want us to pursue that?
So
One other
your
question.
recommendation is we charge the fee or a courtesy?
I mean, that's really totally up to y'all, because I mean, if you just, you know, sit there and do the math or whatever, you know.
I don't think you can actually do it for free. You gotta.
Are there other towns that do that, or cities that do it? Cornell, do you know? Do they actually?
I don't know too many municipalities that actually does it, you know, because some people, most of them, they don't want to even fool with it, you know. I mean, and whether we are legally able to do it by courtesy or just charging them a small fee, it will be a savings to the, citizens anyway, and
keep the
they don't
money
want,
here.
sir?
And keep the money here.
Right.
And the reports here.
Right. Because, we got to do the paperwork anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
We got to do the paperwork anyway. That'll save having to chase the tester down, trying to chase the customer down or whatever. Everything will be done right here.
Let's do this. I would say table tonight, and what we'll do is you and I will get together and we'll research with some other municipalities to see what they do and what you can legally do. We can't give away
Right.
things.
I understand.
So let's do that, and we'll bring it back to the council for a firm approval. Is that okay?
And what I was going to say, time being, of course, a lot of the residents don't, have to require backflow preventers or whatever. This here is a simple hose-built vacuum breaker. They have them at the local hardware, whether it's Home Hardware or Steins. You just screw this onto your hose bib. That way, some people, they filling up a swimming pool or whatever, just leave the hose out there in the water. And if something happened out there in the system, and the main break, you got back siphonage. So that's a potential contaminant to the water system. So, this little mechanism right here, anywhere from $6 to $10 or whatever at the local hardware store, just screw on. That's one of the simplest things that we can do as a citizen or whatever to protect our water system.
All right, Cornell, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, the next thing we have is board discussion and vote on approval of new hire for Vidalia Police Department, Ms. Latoya Corey, full-time dispatcher. Frankie's here if the council has any questions.
She's a former employee. She's a former dispatcher, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And she served.
So she would automatically just be going back into the system, pretty much up on the up and ups with the system that you all already have.
She's already trained. Matter of fact, she worked the last 2 days by herself. She just stepped right back in, picked up where she left off.
Okay. Do I hear a motion we approve?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Alderman Gardner. Here a second.
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Denby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we come to a board vote on approval to enter executive session regarding an issue related to possible litigation. So can I have
I make that motion.
motion made by Alderwoman Denby. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, got a second by John Betts. So now that's a vote to enter into the executive session. We don't have to have another motion to go back, actually, to go into it, do we? That was the...
That's the enter.
That's the enter.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I'm looking at X. I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to retire the executive session. We have...
You got to take a vote first.
Oh, all in favor say aye. Aye. All right, here we go. I was looking too far ahead. Motion made by Alderman Gardner, seconded by Alderwoman Denby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.